That's next time. Okay. Mordechai and Peretz. All right, so we're going to continue today the series of classes about the character of Torah, and we're learning about the unique quality of halacha within all parts of the Torah. It says about David HaMelech that Hashem was with him. And what does it mean that Hashem was with him? That the halacha followed the opinion of David HaMelech, of King David. The name of Hashem, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, is different to all other names of Hashem. All the names of Hashem describe something that Hashem is doing. Hashem's kindness, Hashem's judgment. What's unique about the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei is it's a name that is about Hashem himself. It's not about something Hashem is doing. Yud-Kei Vav-Kei is about Hashem himself. And when we say that Hashem was with David HaMelech, what we're referring to is not Hashem's kindness, Hashem's judgment. We're referring to Hashem, the essence of godliness. The essence of godliness is connected to David HaMelech, and we see this in the fact that he was able to issue halachic rulings. So this distinction between halacha and other sections of the Torah is depicted, is expressed in the Torah with these words. From Tzion comes out Torah, from Yerushalayim comes out the word of Hashem. We'll see how that these two phrases are referring to two different levels of Torah and two different levels within Yerushalayim, as we'll see. So, but before we get there, let's go to the Gemara in Megillah. Gemara Megillah talks about how you're not allowed to use Torah for selfish reasons. You're not allowed to use your knowledge of Torah for personal gain. And the Gemara uses the expression over there in Megillah, base, someone who uses the crown of Torah. So the word, the crown of Torah, is a reference specifically to halachas. Halachas of Torah are called the crown of Torah. It also says in the Gemara, in many places, anyone who learns halachas of Torah, you learn the Jewish halacha, the practical way you're supposed to do, then you are assured that you'll have a share in the world to come. Now, every Jew has a share in the world to come. So what's the additional distinction of if you learn halacha, then you get a share in the world to come? Every Jew has a share in the world to come. So these two phrases of the Gemara, that halacha is called the crown of Torah, and halacha brings you to the world to come, they're connected. The reason why halacha brings you to the world to come, or makes you a ben elam haba, as we'll see what that means, is because the halacha is the crown of Torah. What's the difference between the crown of Torah and the rest of Torah? What is the meaning of a crown? A crown is placed upon your head. So there is the head itself, which is the seat of the intellect. And then there is what's put above the head, the crown, which represents that which is beyond intellect. What is intellect? Intellect is a soul power within the body, the soul power that is seated in the brain. Mind is in the brain, and that's the seat of where we process things, understand things. That's the seichel. Then there are things which are beyond our intellect, and that is the desire. Desire is not something within the. It's not a soul power. Desire is different than all other soul powers. Desire means your soul itself is drawn somewhere. Your soul itself is going somewhere. When you're drawn to something, you have desire for something. Who has a desire? You have a desire. You are drawn to something because of your desire. Intellect is a soul power. It's a thing. You understand something of Torah. You understand something about life. That's intellect. It's a part of, it's something within you. But desire is not a thing, a tool that you have. Desire means that you yourself are drawn. That's the idea of desire. So we talk about the halachas as being the crown of the Torah. Halachas are the desire of Hashem, and therefore they're not connected to just some godly light of Hashem, like the wisdom of Hashem is a godly energy of Hashem. Yes, the Zohar says the Torah and Hashem are one. The wisdom of Hashem and Hashem himself are one, but that's talking about the unity between something godly and Hashem himself. The wisdom of Hashem is one with Hashem. There's the unity between Hashem and his wisdom. But desire, just like desire is in ourselves, desire is how ourselves are drawn somewhere, not just a thing that we have, but it is ourselves. You are drawn somewhere. Your soul is drawn somewhere. That's Ramil Tzibul and Shalom always say, desire means the nefesh tzitzich. Desire means your soul is drawn. It's not you're doing something with something that you have, a soul power. Desire means you yourself are drawn. So Hashem made us in a similar image to himself. Desire is something which is expression of Hashem's essence. So the halachas of Torah is different to the thrust and parry, the back and forth, the shakavatariya, until you get to the halacha. The back and forth of Torah is the wisdom of Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu heard from Hashem 49 reasons why something should be pure, or 49 reasons why it shouldn't be pure, and all of that is the wisdom of Hashem. But when you have the final conclusion, the halacha, that's something else. That's the will of Hashem, which is an expression of his essence, and that's why it's called the crown of the Torah. Just like in ourselves, the crown is on top of, put a crown on top of your head, so too, the crown of Torah represents the will of Hashem, which is beyond the wisdom of Hashem. This explains the difference between every Jew having a share in the world to come and someone who studies halacha is called a ben Eilam Haba. The words of the Gemara are, every Jew has a chelek, has a portion in the world to come. Let's say you said, Yankel should have a portion in my inheritance. How much does Yankel get? You didn't specify what he gets. So the consensus is that Yankel gets 25% of your assets. Chelek, a portion means 25%. So too in regards to the world to come. There are different parts of the world to come. There are 4 letters of Hashem's name. So the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei is revealed in the world to come. So every Jew has this connection to Rish Shekech. Every Jew has a connection.
So you have a schus. I bought the milk out. I didn't realize it was out.
Thank you.
This is Mitzvah Gurus Mitzvah.
Good to see some of our participants with their screen on. Hi, Yonatan. So speaking of a portion of revelation, every Jew has a portion of the revelation of Galilei. Mashiach will come. The 4th letter of Hashem's name is revealed to everyone. Or if this phrase is referring to Gan Eden, the lowest letter, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, the Hey is revealed in Gan Eden. However, it's through studying halacha, not only do you get a portion of Gan Eden, a portion of the world to come, a portion of the time of the coming of Mashiach, you're ben Eilam Haba. Ben Eilam Haba means you're a member of the world to come. You get the whole thing. And why is this? Because halacha is connected to the essence of godliness. Halacha is connected to the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, which is the name of Hashem's essence. Halacha is about an expression of Hashem's essence. The desire of Hashem, what you actually meant to do, that's something which draws on and comes from Hashem's very essence. And therefore, when you learn halachas every day, you not only have a share in the world to come, but you're a ben Eilam Haba. You get the whole thing. You get the full revelation of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei of Hashem's essence. This also explains something else. Maimonides begins his work with the words Yesod HaYesodis V'Amud HaChachmas. It is the foundation of all foundations. There's a pillar of all wisdoms to know that there's a God. So the first 4 words of his book, Yesod HaYesodis V'Amud HaChachmas, they are an acronym for the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. The Rambam didn't just happen to want to begin his book with the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. There's something about the content of the book that Rambam wrote that is an expression of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. Why? Because the Rambam is writing a book about halach. Halach is connected to the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, which is a name that is Shem HaEtzem, a name of Hashem's essence. There are other books of halacha, but they're not. They don't cover all of halachas. They just cover, like the Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch covers halachas which are learned nowadays. Shulchan Aruch doesn't cover the laws that we will need to know in a moment when Mashiach comes. The Rambam, however, he discusses all the halachas of the Torah, and because his work has all the halachas of the Torah in it, therefore his work begins with an Ein Yud Kei Vav Kei, because this whole entire work of the Rambam, which has all the halachas of the Torah, that's an expression of Hashem's essence. There is, in more simple language, there's a mitzvah to learn practically what you're supposed to do. And there's a mitzvah to know the whole Torah. In learning the whole Torah itself, learning the halachas of the Torah is a first stop, because again, the halachas of the Torah are called the crown of the Torah. But if you're talking about knowing what to do, there's an advantage to learning Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch tells you actually practically what you're supposed to do. There are many things that we don't rule at the Rambam. However, if you're talking about the mitzvah of learning the whole Torah, learning halacha for the sake of learning halacha, there's an advantage of learning the Rambam, because in the Rambam you have the entire Torah, all the halachas of the Torah. There's also a advantage of learning the Rambam, not only in regards to Ben Elam Haba, of connecting to Ein Yud Kei Vav Kei, connecting to the crown of Hashem, connecting to the future, the coming of Mashiach in the present time. There's another virtue learning Rambam, is that it's a machzor yeshna. It returns the crown, in the language of the Talmud, to its original state. It was used to be the custom of people to learn Rambam. When Rambam first published his work, people studied it every day. It became this thing where people erroneously thought that Rambam is just for those who are London, those who are learning Gemara, they want to have a deeper insight in the Gemara, then they learn how the Rambam rules about something. But the Rambam writes in his introduction, the purpose of his work is kakot and gadol. It's for every Jew, young and old. Everyone should learn the Rambam, says the Rambam, and so the Rebbe's institution of learning one chapter a day, 3 chapters a day, is connected to what the Rambam writes about the written Torah. Rambam calls his work the Mishnah Torah. Once you learn the written Torah, you can go straight to my work, which is a Mishnah Torah, which encapsulates the oral Torah. Regarding the written Torah, there are 2 customs of learning the written Torah. One way is, our custom is minute pashut, so we finish the entire Torah in 1 year. And then there is another custom to finish the whole Torah in 3 years, which is not the custom we do nowadays. So too, regarding learning Rambam, there is this, there's a way to finish Rambam in 1 year, they're learning 3 chapters a day, or learning, finishing in 3 years, or learning 1 chapter a day. So the advantage of learning Rambam every day is, first of all, you are a Ben Elam Haba, you remember the world to come, you're learning halachas every day. And number 2, you're fulfilling the initial custom of the Jewish people, which was, when the Rambam first published his work, to always study every day the Rambam. That was the custom. And additional value of uniting together, as the Rebbe said, we should all unite together to learn the entire Torah. All the Jewish people should unite together to study the whole Torah. When you're learning the Rambam, you're connecting with you're connecting yourself with all the Jewish people in learning the entire Torah. So that's the advantage of learning halacha, and especially learning Rambam. Okay, let's go back to the verse that we began with. The verse says, "From Tzion, Torah will emerge, and the word of Hashem will emerge from Yerushalayim." So the Torah in general is called the word of Hashem, and Yerushalayim is called Tzion too. The phrase is dividing Yerushalayim from Tzion and the word of Hashem from Torah. What's going on over here? So the word Tzion, means a sign. What's unique about the city of Yerushalayim is a siman, it's a sign for what's going on in higher worlds. Yerushalayim is a siman shel Ma'ala. Tzion is the same letters as Yesod. Tzion Masha Yesod. Oh, interesting. Very nice. So you hear that from Yosef Javadani, right there.
Somebody came to me. I used to have 156 on my license plate.
Yeah.
Somebody walked into my house and says, "You know, you have 156 on the plate." I knew it. Yosef was like, Shem, he heard of that morning on the sun.
That's cool.
I'm sorry, from Zion, the word.
From Zion, Torah will come out, and the word of Hashem will come out from Jerusalem. So, so we're learning before about how there are different stories in the Talmud about how we don't follow the voices from heaven, right? We follow the opinion of the sages on earth. The sages on earth, they have to use their mind, their human mind, to figure out the will of Hashem. And interesting, in Bava Metzia, Gemara says a story about how the heavenly court had one opinion, God had a different opinion, and the Gemara wants to figure out the final ruling. And who should we consult? The Gemara says, let's go to Rabbi Bar Nachmani, who he'll decide whether the lesion is pure or impure. And Rabbi Bar Nachmani says it's pure, and as soon as he said it's pure, his soul left him. So the Rambam doesn't rule like Rabbi Bar Nachmani. The simple reason why they consulted Rabbi Bar Nachmani is because only a soul, a Jew in this world, is able to give halacha. Halacha is again about the expression of Hashem's desire. Hashem's desire is manifest specifically by his soul in this world. And the Kesef Mishnah says, just like we can't rule by a voice from heaven, the reason why the Ram doesn't rule like Rabbi Bar Nachmani also, he doesn't agree with Rabbi Bar Nachmani either, is because Rabbi Bar Nachmani, since he was about to pass away, he's considered like he's already part of the heavenly court. So he doesn't qualify as a soul in this world to give halachic ruling, therefore halacha doesn't follow him, which tells us that specifically souls in this world give us halacha. On the other hand, Chaim Peretz says the story is like this. How does Beis Shammai tell us halacha? Who is telling us halacha? His mind or his soul? Why are we listening to Beis Shammai, Beis Hillel? What is Beis Shammai saying? What is Beis Hillel saying? Beis Hillel is saying to us something which is not just his Beis Hillel's mind. What's unique about Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai is that they're righteous tzaddikim, and their souls and bodies are a tziyim. They're a sign of their souls in heaven. Beis Shammai channels to us Hashem's gvura, Hashem's judgment, and Beis Hillel channels and reveals Hashem's kindness. So, on the one hand, the reason we're listening to them is because they're revealing godliness. On the other hand, listening to them only because they're giving us halacha based upon their mind. Because you can't listen to godliness. You can't rule by voices from heaven. You can only rule halacha by a human mind in this world, understanding the will of Hashem. Only a human mind. The Torah is not in heaven. Only Hashem gave the Torah to this physical world, that we in this world make a home for Hashem here. Only with our mind can we give halacha. So, is it our mind or is it our soul? So let's go 2,000 feet up for a second. So there is in our bodies, we have our power of eyesight in our eyes, power of hearing in our ears. These are soul powers. Eyesight is a soul power. And yet, this soul power has an organ in the body where this soul power is capable of being fully functional. It needs an area in the body which can harness that soul power and make it functional. The ear uniquely is designed to be able to harness and access and to manifest and to function, to hear. So what hears? Does the soul hear? Does the body hear? The soul power of hearing is what allows our physical ears to hear. Let's go a step further. When you're happy, you smile. Your physical body is affected by your joy. Your joy affects you. You should sing, you should dance. It's because your soul's experiencing joy. So who is experiencing joy? Your body or your soul? Your body is in sync. Your body is a sign of what's going on in your soul. So for tzaddikim like Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, their physical bodies in this physical world, their minds, they're nothing other than their godly core. Their minds were reflected their godly core. The reason Beis Shammai understood Gevura and Beis Hillel understood Chesed, Beis Shammai ruled to be stringent, Beis Hillel ruled to be lenient, is because the soul root of Beis Hillel was manifest in his mind. His mind gravitated to kindness because his mind was, the way his mind functioned as a human mind was mirrored his godly core, just like our face. When we smile, it's mirroring our soul. That's how Beis Hillel was. So that's the meaning of the words. Kimi tziyin teitzei seira, that from tziyin, Torah comes out. The tzaddikim, who they are tziyin, they're a sign to, they're a signpost to divinity, and therefore they can tell us the Torah. When we try to figure out Torah, We try to figure out the matria, this is this is that. We're just guessing. We're using our minds, and we may tap into something godly by accident. Yesterday, one of the author says that every Jew is an obligation to give insights in Torah. So we definitely have to try, but we're trying. Our whole being is not like a Beisham Yisrael, who their whole entire body reflected the divine core. We have other stuff going on in our life besides our divinity. Maybe other unimportant things. Beisham Yisrael, their whole being is their divine core. Beisham Yisrael, their whole being is there just a mirror, they're just transparent to their divine core. So therefore, Beisham says to be stringent, Yisrael says to be lenient. It's their mind saying it, but their mind functions. They're not trying to make this happen. It's just a way it functions naturally, that their mind is thinking the way their souls think. That's the meaning of Mitzion Teitesera. From Zion, Torah comes out. That just like Jerusalem is a sign for heaven, Jerusalem is a place where it mirrors the heavens. So to a Jew has in him something that mirrors the heavens. A Jew is able to be like Beisham Yisrael and to be a mirror for the divine core. But there's another name for Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim is also called Yerushalayim itself, not just seeing. What's Yerushalayim? So we just had in last week's Torah portion, Malkitzedek Melech Shalem. He was the king of Yerushalayim. He's called the king of Shalem because Yerushalayim has two parts to it: Yireh, which means to fear, and Shalom, which means complete. Yerushalayim means complete reverence for Hashem. That means not just that you're a sign to divinity, but you need to have full reverence for Hashem. And that additional level of reverence for Hashem, that's what allows you to connect to the essence of godliness and be able to issue halachic ruling to get to the crown of Torah. What exactly is the additional distinction of Yerushalayim as full reverence for Hashem? How does that surpass seeing? How does that connect us to halacha specifically? Hashem we'll get to that next class, God willing. Any questions, comments, criticism, later the cucumbers? Chaim.
Well,